Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we're out here in the garage late at night. It's what, 11:23 in the evening, and I just got home from the range. Yes, you guys know I can go to the Frisco Gun Club 24 hours a day with biometric access and get into the VIP lanes. And sometimes it's nice to go there because there's very few people there at night, and I'm able to get footage for all of my range reports and not usually be interrupted by people making a lot of noise or cursing or all that kind of stuff. So I just got home. It's kind of raining outside, but I got a lot I want to talk about because I have to say, every time I go to the range, it's a unique experience. I could have everything from guns that don't work, having problems, all the way up to meeting cool people and having very unique experiences, which both those things happen tonight. But I wanted to first talk about last night's video where I mentioned I'm kind of tempted to buy this HK rifle, and a lot of you guys were trying to make it more difficult on me than it should be, because you guys like buy the HK rifle because you'll always be able to buy the Rolex in the future. And I get that. But I think I'm still going to be good and stay on the path, because there were a couple people that told me, you know, you already got a ton of guns you don't shoot. Because most likely if I bought that HK, I wouldn't shoot it. It would sit in the collection and just gather dust. So maybe they're right. And they also said, you know, you already got a lot of guns, a lot of very nice guns. But in the future, when your kids and maybe grandkids put on that watch, because, you know, I'm not going to be here forever, they'll remember you. You know, it's something that will go up in value, and they'll always remember you for it. So who knows? Maybe it's something that I can pass down that's not just firearms to my progeny. So I think I'm going to stay on that path. I still got a long way to go when it comes to putting money aside every single month and being good and not buying any firearms, even though my wife wants to go to Shields tomorrow, and she knows that I'll be super tempted to go over to the gun part of the store and look around. So, but anyway, that was that. What I want to talk about there. I did want to answer a quick viewer question. When I was talking about the 22 Jet Magnum, or 22 Remington Jet Magnum, somebody in the comment section asked if they could see the head stamp on this ammunition. And because I have not gone to the range and fired this yet, I do have some. And I thought I would show it because somebody had asked about it. So obviously they are an ammunition connoisseur. And so I'll show you here. It just says PPU 22 Rim Jet Mag. So hopefully this will come across. Let's see if I can get my head out of the picture here. And I think I got it right there. So that is what the head stamp on the 22 Remington Jet Magnum is. So there you go. I hope that answers somebody's question. So yeah, it's such a unique round. All right, so now let's talk about the range. What happened tonight, okay? So I'm going to save the best for last. I mean, the best is last, okay? So stick around for that. I took two guns to the range tonight to try to get range footage on. Now, the first one I shot, well, it disappointed me, but not in a bad way, because the gun surprised me in a good way. But unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to maybe clean it or figure out something that's going wrong with it. So the first one is, and of course, every time I shoot one of Jack's guns, Jack number 2, I always seem to have an issue. And I don't know if I frustrate him. This is just the nature of collector and old guns. So the gun I first shot was the Coonan 357 Magnum. And this is kind of like a 1911 chambered in 357 Magnum. And I discovered some really interesting things about this gun. So first off, before I talk to you about the performance of this gun, something I noticed is the beaver tail of this gun is very short right here. And I was kind of worried I was going to get some hammer bite. I don't know why, when they designed it, that they would have such a short beaver tail, because that really kind of scared me a little bit. But I didn't have any problems with that. Okay, so first issue I had was with the magazine. I only have one magazine. Now, you guys know 357 Magnum is a rimmed cartridge. It's designed for revolvers. So getting it to work in a semi-automatic magazine is tricky. That's why you always have reliability issues with like 22 long rifle magazines, because those are rimmed cartridges as well. This magazine is a biatch to load. Okay, so the first couple rounds go in just fine. You gotta be careful, you gotta stack them right. Then by the time you get to the third and fourth round, this spring is so tight in this gun, in this magazine, it is so hard to depress. And the magazine is so long from the front to the back, you can't use like a Uplula magazine loader. It will not work with this. So it does have a little thing right here, which is on the follower. So essentially what I had to do was take a little Allen wrench, put through it, and pull down on it to get it to load. And this thing holds 7 rounds. But let me tell you, it is really hard to load. I have no idea why this magazine spring is that powerful. But maybe it has to be for reliability issues. Okay, so that was issue number 1. Now let's talk about what really surprised me about this firearm. This thing is chambered in 357 Magnum, and I was kind of expecting it to have a beast of a recoil. This thing recoils like a 22. It's quite magical. I mean, it has the flash and the power of a 357 Magnum revolver, but it has the recoil of a 22 target pistol. It was kind of freaky. It's a weird disconnect. So how this gun works is magical. I'm telling you. You feel the power with the concussion and the sound and the report of the firearm, but the recoil in your hands is so soft. Such a pleasurable experience. It was not what I was expecting. And so the first magazine went pretty well. The gun is very accurate, but I discovered an issue with this. And let me go ahead and show you what the issue was and why I discontinued the range report. It has to do with the trigger. Now this trigger is really heavy, and you can even see that if I just push it back to the wall and then let it go, watch how slow it goes, it resets. Look at that. See, I can take my finger off of it and then it resets. And so then when I pull the trigger, let's say I reset it this way, and now watch this. Well, actually it worked good there. It was having a very slow reset. And the trigger is kind of mushy. And at the range, oh, there it goes. It's just real slow. And so it didn't feel right. And so I'm not sure if there even is a trigger return spring, or maybe there's some like old, I don't know, grease in this thing that needs to be cleaned out. But I was like, you know, after about 2 or 3 magazines through this, I said, I'm going to bring it home and I'm just going to clean it. I think the gun just needs to be cleaned and properly oiled. I did wipe it down. I did put some oil on the rails, but maybe the internal mechanisms need to be cleaned as well. So I'm going to do that and then take it back to the range. On the second and third magazines, I had some failures to extract. But the first magazine went really, really well. But I think it's a combination of magazine and then the trigger. So the gun runs well and the recoil is magical. I just want to give this thing the best shot of having a successful range report. So I discontinued the range report, came home. I'll clean this thing up and hopefully get it working better and take it back to the range. But sometimes these guns, when they sit around for a long time, and I don't think Jack has shot this, so I don't know how long ago this gun was bought and who owned it before him. It's a very early production one, 3-digit serial number in the low 100s. But it might have some grease in there. Anyway, it just needs to be cleaned, and then I'll take it back to the range. So it wasn't like a terrible issue, but I need to do that. So that will be on the agenda for tomorrow. In fact, I should probably just go ahead and leave that out because that will get work on so I can take it back to the range. All right, the next gun I shot is another one of Jack's fine firearms, and this is going to be the Smith & Wesson. Let me show you, it's clear there. This is going to be the Smith & Wesson Model 19-2 in .357 Magnum. And this is a really, really cool revolver because it's the pinned barrel, the recessed cylinder, has that classic look. I love the look of the narrow grip on this, but of course with a gun this small and .357 Magnum with that narrow grip in my bigger hands, it's probably not going to be friendly to me, and no, it wasn't. And I will tell you, I do not shoot revolvers well at all. I just don't. I don't. And I already know people are going to tell me in that range report how bad of a shot I am. But that's not the reason why I'm reviewing the gun, is to show off how good of a shot I am. I'm here to talk about the gun and its quality, its beauty, its history. And let me tell you, this gun has all of that in spades. This is a very high quality revolver. In fact, because it's a -2, I'm not really sure when it was made, maybe in the 70s, but of course this is pre-Hillary hole, where it doesn't have that stupid frame lock on it that they added in the 90s during the Clinton administration. And it has all the features you'd ever want on a classic Smith. And while the gun might not be super accurate for me, well, I will say, with 38 Special, it's pretty good. .357 Magnum, this is hard to hold on to. I mean, I held on to it fine. It's just not very comfortable. And those larger grips that I don't like the looks of definitely work better on .357 Magnums. What is this? I think this is a K-frame, I think it's a K-frame. They just work better. They're more ergonomic. You have better control. These small grips, this does not work for me, but I love the look of them. So 38 Special ran great. .357 Magnum, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just nowhere near as accurate. I don't shoot it as well, and I already know people are going to say how bad of a shot I am. But I come away really liking this revolver. It is a classic, and it's so much fun to shoot. All right, so that's the other gun that I reviewed. I think that's it. I guess I'll put all this stuff back in here, and I'll take it back and put it in the safe for the night, and then I'll figure out what I'll do with that Coonan in the morning when it comes to cleaning it. All right, so now I promised you something really cool for the end of this video. Okay, so I actually reviewed another gun tonight. And it's not a gun that I was expecting to review or one that I even took to the range. And so this is where these, crazy range stories come into play. So I went there to the range, normally late at night. It's, what is it? What is today? Saturday night. And I'm by myself thinking, it's just, hey, I'm just going to go get some range footage on these two guns. And I get there, and there's a gentleman there. He's shooting. And on the VIP lanes, you never know who's going to be there. And this guy was just kind of minding his own business, but I could definitely tell he had something cool. He had either a Sten or a Sterling, gun. And I didn't know at that time if it was like one of the, kind of the newer ones that are like semi-automatic. I know a couple of companies have come out with those. And then there's, of course, some older ones that are like civilian transferable. And then who knows, maybe it's somebody that has a dealer sample or whatever. I didn't know this guy, didn't know if he was an SOT, FFL. I had no idea. But I didn't bother him, because we're just there to do our own things. I'm setting my camera up, and he comes over, and he sees that revolver. And goes, what kind of revolver is that? He's a Smith & Wesson fan. I'm like, oh, it's a Smith & Wesson 19-2. It's the pinned barrel, the recessed cylinder. So it's an awesome revolver. He's like, oh yeah, that's the era you want the Smith & Wessons from. I said, yeah, it's a great gun. I can't wait to shoot it. He goes, well, I got this Sterling submachine gun. Do you want to shoot it? I was like, well, yeah, that's awesome. And we started talking. He's like, oh, you have a YouTube channel? I said, yeah, I do. He goes, well, do you want to do a review on this? And I was like, well, I said, normally I do it where I can, take my time, and everything's kind of laid out and, a little bit scripted. I know what kind of tests I'm going to do on it. And he goes, well, he says, if you want to film a couple segments here, you can. I was like, really? Okay. I mean, I didn't have any 9mm ammo, and he loaded up a few magazines, and I was able to film some with the Sterling Mark II. In fact, I think it's made by DLO Manufacturing. So it's my understanding that it was kind of put together by a gunsmith that I've actually worked with before named John Andruski. He helped me work on my Car Arms, what is it, the Tommy gun. I have a M1A1. Is that what it is? Yeah, the M1A1. Semi-auto. And he helped me with like some feed ramp issues and then put on some rivets and things. He's a very well-respected gunsmith. And I guess he partially assembled this thing, but also it's civilian transferable. So it was really cool. I mean, I've had a chance to shoot a few machine guns, but I really haven't had a chance to shoot any of the civilian transferable ones. So this is a pre-1986 machine gun that he had. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. So I got to do some shooting at like 10 yards and then at 20 yards. I did both semi-automatic and full automatic, and he was having some issues because he actually recently got this, and his wait for his Form 4 stamp was only 4 or 5 days, he said. It was crazy. I'm thinking, oh my God. When I've had done Form 4s, they've taken over like a year, year and 2 months, and he got his in 4 days. And a machine gun nonetheless. And I was talking to him. He paid a lot of money for this thing. He paid a lot of money. But the issue he was having is in semi-automatic, sometimes you get like small bursts. It wouldn't just fire one round. It might fire 2 or 3. And we were kind of figuring out why. I was thinking it might be an ammunition thing where maybe the bolt isn't coming back far enough and catching on the sear, which could be it. We're not really sure what type of ammunition loadings it was designed for. I said, you might want to try some of the NATO spec stuff. He was running 115 grain and some lighter stuff. And by lighter, I meant I think 124 grain, maybe I think it was 124. Anyway, it was, not as powerful, not like, 9+ P or anything like that. I was like, it seems like it might be a little bit underpowered. I'm not really sure. So he was going to go home and do a little bit more research. With one magazine, semi-auto would run well. With the other, it kind of wouldn't. But full auto was amazing. And that gun shot like a 22. So I kind of did like a short impromptu range report with this gun. So I do like a little bit of an opening. I shoot it. I show how the stock collapses and how you unfold it. I shoot it twice. I talk about the kind of the fire control group and the manual of arms a little bit on it. And I think I'm going to film a kind of a garage portion where I talk about, because obviously, it's not mine. It's a machine gun. He took it with him. But I know enough about it to kind of give like an introduction and then go into the range report proper. It's only going to be about 6 or 7 minutes long. But it's pretty cool. So I got to shoot a Sterling submachine gun, Mark II tonight. And so I did kind of edit some of the range footage, and I have a little short that I'm going to put at the end of this video to show you my experience. So before I do that, I want to, do the word of the day, because if you watch to the end, you guys love the word of the day. So the word of the day is going to be Sterling. Not Sten, Sterling. So, that's the gun I got to shoot. It was kind of an impromptu thing. So, yeah, shooting machine guns is awesome. It's not like a full range report, but it's a mini one. So that should be a really, really cool video. And I kind of edited the range footage, put it together. I think it's going to be kind of neat. I just got to do like a little bit of an intro. And he let me take a picture for the thumbnail. So I'll do that. I might do that tomorrow. So that'd be really, really, really cool to put all that together and have my first real machine gun range report. So anyway, that's what happened tonight. You never know what to expect when you go to the range with the Texas Gun Vault, man. You never know. You never know. So anyway, that's all I got for you tonight. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And as always, wait for the end, because as soon as I'm saying this, as soon as I say thanks for watching, we're going to go to a clip of me shooting that Sterling submachine gun. Okay? So there you go. That's the cool thing tonight. So, as always, thanks for watching.